I'm in my samurai gear. This is something that's been bothering me for a bit that I want to talk about. It really comes from the fact that over the last 2-ish years, there's been this rise of far super masculine type that are saying things like, you don't need therapy, you're not supposed to cry in front of people. Like going back to these traditional aspects of masculinity. While warranted, I'm not saying they're wrong, but we need to talk about it. What we have to talk about is the fact that there's a line I read in Jason Wilson's book, Battle Cry, talks about suppression leads to depression. But I also think I want to add to it that suppression eventually leads to death. There's a reason why so many men die from things like heart disease. I think not only is it because unfortunately our food system is terrible, but it's because of this culture that has been created in the world, really. Whether you're in the east side, I've lived in China and I've seen what the men go through there and the boys, and grew up in the west and I've also seen how it is in America. And yeah, there's some aspect that involves us being tough as men, us being able to withstand a lot because we can take it naturally, emotionally strong, because biologically we just have things like testosterone that are much higher than in women that may have higher estrogen and oxytocin and all these other hormones that exist. But for us, we need to stop telling boys, young men, they're not supposed to cry. Now, I am going to say a controversial thought. I think if you're super emotional and you're emotional with, say, your partner, if you're too emotional too often, it's going to become unattractive. If she's a feminine woman, she's going to want a strong man, and that includes emotionally. What I always say is, if you have to cry in front of your partner, make sure it's happy tears. Make sure it's tears of joy. If you're going to cry because you have difficulty in life, you need a band of men to go cry to, right? Yeah, of course, you're going to have a parent pass away. You're going to have, your dog pass away, whatever that looks like. Crying in front of your spouse, not a problem, because it shows that you have emotional maturity, that you don't have to hold it in, that you can cry. But if you're going to hardship or difficulty and you're trying to make things work and they're not working, stay strong for your family. Stay strong for your wife, especially if she views you in that light. And instead, use your brothers. Your band of brothers are the ones you go to cry in. And those band of brothers should be able to hold that space for you, be able to provide you with advice. Lately, I've been going to the church. I've been reading the Bible. And even that kind of community is good to be around. It's really hard to find a good one, just like anything, right? It's hard to find a good job. It's hard to find a good spouse. It's really hard to find these things. But at the end of the day, when you find something that at least covers most positives, most things you're looking for, go for it. But I know this message is mostly geared towards men, and I know that ladies probably watching, you have men in your lives. So I think it's important to listen to this and know that we shouldn't suppress, but we also have a specific audience that we have to be strong for. And we have an audience that we can just let down our guard, put down the shield, put down the sword. At the end of the day, if you're a strong man and you find a strong woman and you have some sense of traditional living, not entirely, what, you want your woman to stay home, blah, 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 blah. No, that's not what I'm saying. If you read in the Bible, I think it's it's Proverbs 32. A woman, and she's not a stay-at-home, she's a hustler. Like, she works, she gets things done. She does take care of the house, and she makes sure that her man is respected. And I believe that a man should do the same for his woman. So we're equals in many ways. We have differences biologically, and that's it. And this occasionally, because nothing is perfect, life isn't perfect, occasionally some people come out biologically different, and this is why we have to use tests and things of that nature to make sure that people are okay. So I'm not on anything when it comes to like trans or people dating the opposite sex. I don't care. You do whatever you got to do. Going back to the task at hand, men, cry in front of your brothers, cry in front of your lady. But if you're going through hardship, have a band of brothers behind you. Trust me, it'll be much better, and they'll be able to provide the right guidance for you. Because maybe your lady can't, right? Maybe she could, sure. Maybe she could, connect you with someone she knows that can help you with something. Like if you lost your job, that's something obviously you just have to tell them. Like, you can't hide that. If, say, you're working on your business is doing okay, but you have a really difficult decision to make. You got to fire some employees, you got to do a layoff and whatever, and it makes you emotional. Go to your guys first before you go to your lady. I'm not saying to never ever go to your lady with those problems, but go to your guys first before you go to her. At least in that sacred space with a band of men that can hold the space for you, you'll get everything you need. It's hard to find that band of men. And that's something I want to talk about in the future. For now, I'll leave it at this. Find your band of brothers. If you don't have one, that should be your number one priority. Finding a band of brothers. Go to jiu-jitsu. Go to the gym, talk to people. Plenty of YouTube videos out there on how to just start conversations with people. Join a rock climbing gym. Join social clubs, right? There's meetup.com. There's other online groups you can join. And when you do that, you'll find exactly what you need. So with that, I'm calling this no editing. If you're watching to the end, thank you so much for standing here and just listening to me babble. Comment below your thoughts. I'd love to hear them. Let's start a discussion. I know not everyone's going to agree with me, and that's totally fine. Hit that like button if you do agree, or if you think this is, something that we should talk about more. I'd love to make more videos about it, but only if you enjoy it. So take care.